I've just done some work assessing the evolution of ChatGPT on an agent, RAG agent that I've created in ChatGPT, running it in the 4.1 model and then running it on the 5.2 model. Now, when you update from 4.1 to 5.2 as your LLM base, and you test the two of them pretty extensively and then run the tests repeatedly through another LLM to assess them, the thing that comes up pretty obviously is that 5.2 is a clear intentional effort to move across AGI. Okay? That is, 5.2 is a much better generalist, high-level strategic thinker than 4.1. The thing is, though, when do you actually need that? It seems almost as though it's moving towards generalized intelligence for the sake of generalized intelligence. I don't know about the rest of you out there, but the Copilot, the GEMs, the MyGPTs that I make, I don't want them to be generalists. I want them to be very, very specific thinkers in a very specific domain. And what I found with 5.2, to be able to get it to meet specific use cases without going kind of off the rails and becoming too much of a generalist or giving too much strategic thought when the prompt might actually ask for something that's more specific and focused, is I had to add even more instructions into 5.2 in order to guide its process of deciding the mode to use. Now, that could solve the problem, and I could see in theory that a true AGI that knew everything everywhere would then be able to have instruction sets sit atop of it that also then can decide what agent level of thinking to use, how much to be a generalist. But you're still paying for all that incredible generalist IT. When you ever stop to think about it, if you, like me, are creating a MyGPT, it's coming to your users, say, with a financial system or a public relations system, or the kinds of ones that I've made, or monitoring the RAG about your own internal systems and policies. It brings in all this knowledge about cosmology and Greek philosophy and Hindu mythology and Chinese cooking, and everything is still there running that thing. Now, this strikes me as incredibly inefficient and not really the way we should be going. I mean, shouldn't there be LLMs that are not generalists but are just really, really, really good experts? I mean, the thing is, you can select mode now to get quick reasoning, creative reasoning, in-depth reasoning, scientific reasoning. But personally, in most of the things that my solutions that I'm looking at dealing with, I would like to be able to say, I want an LLM that speaks about finance in English, and I don't want to have to pay for all the computing power that lets it know Hindi or Persian, or lets it know about Greek mythology, or lets it know about French literature. Okay? I would like to be able to deploy LLM chatbots, and at the very beginning, get them smaller and cheaper, but intensely specialized. And also the thing is where money making is going to be happening. I only can imagine so many domains of this. You need a specialized medical LLM. You need a specialized finance, HR, public relations, IT. Okay? Those are the kind of LLMs that would make particular money. I'm not entirely sure it's fun to play with LLMs, but where the economic benefit is to the fact that I have LLMs I've made for my own fun that can reason about Platonic philosophy or Kant's philosophy, or knows the work of Shakespeare. It's all a lot of fun and it's all very interesting, but we're talking here about economic applications and making sure that the AI bubble rather than bursts, actually pays something off. And this continual pursuit for generalism, I just don't see the economic benefit to this general IT. If you even have the real AGI, which can do anything at an expert level, the computational amount of things that you're going to have to pay for in order to have that as a user, it just doesn't make any sense. Wouldn't it be better to pull out an English-speaking finance LLM that just ran the weights and the networks needed to be a finance expert in English? Wouldn't it be better to pull out a Chinese medical expert that just has to have the weights and the base to be a good Chinese? I think probably all these would have to know English because it's the global language. But still, it just strikes me as that AGI is the pursuit is going to be making a very expensive AI that's going to be more complicated to program because you're going to have to design the logic to get it to go into the specializations you want. Okay? Just my opinion.